Hey, 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 happy spring, y'all. Happy spring. So, it's April 2nd, and depending upon where you are in the world, in the country, seasons are changing. March 21st was the spring equinox, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, it would be the autumn equinox. But either way, equinox talks about light and dark. It talks about an equal amount of light and dark. So with this change of seasons, there's always a shift of energy that comes with it. And as a people, we have kind of forgotten what it means to evolve and live according to or in harmony with the seasons. When we moved, when we were more nomadic, when we didn't have artificial light, when we lived in tribes and in communities, we would have to follow the energy of the seasons. We would have to follow the movement of the cosmos and of the planet and of the animals. We were at the effect of those components of our life. In a lot of ways, obviously, it's wonderful that we have evolved the way that we have. It's wonderful that we have the technologies in different industries that we have. And through that process, we have lost our connection with the planet. We've lost our connection with the seasons. We've also lost the awareness that whatever's going on out there, energetically speaking, is also demonstrated in here. We have an external ecosystem and an internal ecosystem, and both are in communication at all times. We are made up of the same things as the stars and as the cosmos. So whatever's going on out there, it's going on in here, okay? So with the spring, in the northern hemisphere, comes the spring winds. Comes this experience of things being kicked up and made new, and seeds are being thrown here, and there's just like this fresh vibrancy. Everything is kind of coming back to life after the deep freeze of the winter, after the internal quiet darkness of the winter. It was the winter solstice where we had the most darkness, and since that point in time, we've been rising back up to an equal amount of dark and light. And then we're going to keep going in the wheel to the summer solstice, which will be the peak of light. And then we start to get smaller, another balance of dark and light, and then we're back into the winter solstice down here. So I put this video here. This was a teaching actually that I did a year ago. And a year ago at this time, my life was in a crazy amount of upheaval and change and shifting, and it was right alongside the seasons. And what's beautiful about that, at least for me, is the amount of nourishment that I feel from that. When I take the time and study the seasons and study the four directions and study what that means for me energetically, esoterically, etherically, it helps me feel more connected and more held in my daily life. So making moves or decisions with the awareness of the energetics of the planet, the metaphorical or metaphysical meaning of the seasons, it helps me feel a little bit more anchored and aligned in how I move. So I put the link down below for the entire teaching. It's about an hour long. There is a guided meditation in there because it was a full moon ceremony. And so there's some discussion about the moon. It was the worm moon, the full worm moon. So there's some discussion behind the metaphorical meaning of the worm and what that means for us. And there's a lot of discussion about moving from fixed energy, which is earth, which is the direction that we were in the wintertime, the north direction, and then shifting into movable energy, which is the direction we shift into at this point of the year, into the east direction, into the springtime. If any of you have questions on what exactly that means, the directions, north, east, south, west, spring, earth, air, fire, water, like all of that stuff, I'm happy to speak to it more to you directly. If you want to put a question or leave a comment here, you obviously can schedule time with me for a session. Or if you want to hear more about a particular piece, let me know and I will definitely put a teaching up for it. However, below, as I said, you will find a specific teaching about moving into the east direction, what that looks like, feels like, sounds like, smells like, tastes like, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here.